All right, so this part will be a bit more experimental, a bit more fun. We're going to use GIS in an unconventional way to do my favorite thing of all time, which is think about basketball and think about the NBA and think about the next season, which starts in October. In the links that I gave you guys, there is at the very end of this is mbasavant.com/shot search. Copy that link into your browser. What this basically is a data download for every shot taken by a player in the NBA, and that's downloadable into an Excel chart format. So let's just pick a player, say LeBron James. Search shots, and you can just simply download a CSV file right here of all the shots that LeBron James took during the NBA season. I'm going to take that CSV file, I'm going to move it to one of my folder locations, say here. I'm going to bring that into ArcMap. Now, because this information is not actually like geographic information, we're using ArcMap almost like we'd be using AutoCAD. It's a completely misuse of this program, but I don't care, and you guys can use this tool in any way you want, as long as it's interesting. In this case, it's interesting to me. I'm going to add data. I'm going to go to that folder where I saved that information. It's in here, and I'm going to here, and it is this one right here. So if you open that table, you'll see you have LeBron James, every single game that he played, or every single shot that he took in every game. It gives you information about how much time was remaining, if he made the shot or if he missed a shot, what type of shot did he make, was it a 2-point, was it a 3-pointer, against which team, but most importantly right here, X, Y. Oh, X, Y. What does this mean? Well, obviously you right click on here and you click on display XY data, click OK, and what you see resembles vaguely like an NBA court, because this is an NBA court. Now, what I also gave you guys in the folder is a basketball court, DWG, which I conveniently already, oh, that didn't come in the correct size. Let me let me do something real quick before I do anything else. Start a new map. We got to set the coordinate system to a WGS 84, this one right here. Click OK. The reason why I want to do that, and I'm just going to show you guys real quick, is because this will give you essentially an even grid, which makes the most sense for this kind of drafting tool. Let me see, I'll go to my world folder, go to the data folder and do world 30. This is essentially a grid of the world, essentially. And if you add a base map of the world, you see that it essentially is just the Earth in that field there. Okay, that's not the important thing. The important thing is we set the coordinate system already with this grid here. Now let's add that LeBron James data set. And if you also, in the folder that I in the Dropbox or the box folder, there is one that I downloaded of Steph Curry's shots, so in case you don't want to download something, but let me get that guy real quick. Display XY data. Okay, so you see at the 0, point is where the basket is basically, and then it spreads out from there like that. This is the largest basketball court in the universe, because the world's this big, the basketball court's this big. That's not the point here. The point is that we have laid it on top. And now I believe you should be able to add this basketball court polyline. I guess not. I'll remove it for now. I probably didn't do it correctly. Maybe the units are incorrect for this court. Whatever, it's not important. Okay, whatever. Now what I want to do is want to take this point data set here and make a heat map from this, and then bring that into Rhino and do some cool maps that look kind of like those Kirk Goldsberry hexagonal heat maps that we made. But you can use this exact same methodology for any map that you make, right? I'm just showing you the fun version, but you guys can do the serious version because you guys are just dumb, serious architecture students. Oh, I gotta be an architect. Do serious things. Sorry. Take your point data set and export that out into a new point layer. So click on Export Data. Just click All Features. The layer, this doesn't have a coordinate system, so I'm not going to even mess with this here. And then we're going to save it into, I'll just say my junk folder. I'll call this LeBron Shots. Okay. Now what we want to do is want to visualize this shot chart based on several aspects. Number one is we want to only visualize the shots that LeBron James actually made. You don't care about the shots that he missed. If you just visualize this simply as is, all it would be was a heat map of every location he took a shot from, which isn't very useful. We want a heat that only visualizes where he made a shot. So we're gonna have to add that little weight option that I showed you guys in the first tutorial for heat maps. So we're gonna add a field. I'm gonna call it weight. It doesn't matter what it's called, but I'm just call it weight. And this time I'm gonna give it a double field like that. And what I want to do is I want to give this weight, make this weight to be a percentage essentially of how likely is LeBron James going to make a shot from each location. If you know anything about basketball, you generally know that on average, a player for most shots has a percentage of about 45% of making it or missing it. 45% of making it, sorry. But I'm more curious about LeBron James's actual own specific shot. So right here in the shot made column here, there's a 1 and 0. 1 meaning he made the shot, 0 meaning he missed a shot. If you highlight that column, right click it and click on statistics, what this shows essentially is how he distributed his shots from misses, which is 0, to makes, which is 1. And as you can see, his actual percentage is actually a little bit above 50%. So he's actually, he's an above average shooter. So I want this number right here, this 50% number right here. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do one thing, is I'm going to go to the Select by Attributes table. I'm going to select every item where the shot made equals 1. Because again, like I said, I only care about the shots that he actually made. So shot made equals 1, right? Click Apply. Now all the shots that are made are selected. Go to this weight column here. Go to the field calculator, yes, and then paste in that little number that you copied from the percentage. And I'm going to make it actual a 51.9 because we want this to actually be kind of a percentage number. Now you might think to yourself, to be actually 50%, you have to be 0.519044. I'll explain why in a second. I'm actually just making it a full multiple of, or rather just a full whole number. For some reason, the results when you create a heat map always seems really small, and so just by adding the multiplier of 100 to this, it just makes the results a lot more manageable. Just trust me on this. Click OK. Okay. So in essence, what we've done is essentially said everywhere he made a shot, we're going to say there's a 51.9% chance of him making it, even though he made that shot. And everywhere he missed a shot is 0. Let me just clarify one thing. This column here is just for you to play with the intensity of the heat map. That's all it is. This could really just be 1 and 0. You could just use this column right here as your population field. I'm just doing this to make it a bit more specific to LeBron James. Go to the Arc Toolbox, go to kernel density. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to make this kind of fill in the page somewhat. That's okay. And I'm going to set a bookmark. I'll create this, call this bookmark shots, or yeah, shot chart. Okay, go to, actually I'm gonna save always save. It's a good thing to do, LeBron. Kernel density, okay, bring in the point field here. In the population field, we're going to do the weight. For the output cell size, I'm just going to do 1, and for the search radius, I'm going to do 30. And the reason I'm going to put those numbers is because I played around with this previously earlier today, just to kind of mess with these numbers. So I already experimented with these numbers to get these values, which I thought gave a result that I liked. And then go into the Environments tab, Processing Extent, same as display. Click OK, click OK. And now, turn off the point layer, and you see, well, where is everything? Okay, I'll explain in a second. Double click on the heat map here, and go to this classify, or the symbology tab, and go to the classify option here. Again, like I mentioned previously, you kind of see there's a huge range of options here, and that there's a wide range of nothing out here. You kind of see like most of the actual items are in this low range here from 0 to basically 1. So we need to reduce the scale of this significantly. I'm going to change the number of classes to something like 7. And I'm going to change the method to quantile, so he sees it condenses everything together like that. But what you can also do is, you see in this break values column here, is you can actually just type in the exact break values, essentially where you want the contours to be cut. So this is going to seem kind of weird, but it actually makes kind of sense. I'm do 10%, which is 0.1, 20%, 30%, 40%, which is the NBA average shot, 50%, and 60%. 60% is generally kind of the high mark for a good shooter. Click OK, click Apply. And now this is LeBron James's shot chart heat map. And like he said previously, you can take this and make a color ramp that makes sense. So we'll do the blue, make it like a cold blue. Say he's like, I'm cold here, I don't make shots. I make it a aqua blue there. And then take this and make it a red. So like in this poinsettia red. Then ramp that. So right click and ramp the colors. Click Apply. Then get rid of the 0 value here, because we don't need to get the 0 in the map. So just click no color for that. And turn back LeBron shots on. So now you see it makes sense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on LeBron's shots here. I'm going to Symbology tab. I'm going to go to the Categories option, and I'm going to display it, the shots made. Add all the values, so 0 and 1. 0 meaning he missed, 1 meaning he made it. I'm going to make the 0 a really small dot, and then make it like a blue dot for representing he's cold there. I'm going to make the 1 a bigger dot, so maybe like 8. I'm going to make it a red dot or orange dot or something to show that he's hot there, so click Apply. And now you can see that's why the shot chart looks the way it does, is because it's following essentially where he actually made the buckets, not where he missed it. So you see, this is essentially LeBron James's game. He's great at making layups. He's great around the post. He has his favorite spot here where he shoots really good from 3-point range, but he basically doesn't do anything here. He avoids this region here. He doesn't waste his time in that region there. And let me just save this real quick. And there we go. That's how you visualize a heat map in GIS of the NBA LeBron James MVP shot chart.